Shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule well. And shalom to the prophets of that body. Okay, and shalom to the 144,001 May peace and blessings be upon your households. This was never meant to be an easy ride, right? Before honor comes humility. Okay, the elect are going to be tried and refined. All right, not individuals that buck up against order and structure and the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. Okay, the elect, or the hopeful elect, or let's just say the elect, wherever they are, from the scattered to the four corners of the earth, are from various diverse backgrounds. But for the most part, they are individuals that were always the so-called, let's just say, the black sheep of the family. They were always the ones blamed for all the trouble in the house. You know, if something went wrong in the household, your father would call for you. All right. Before when the truth even came out, you got your ass whooped. You know. And my father would discipline me hard. And I'm not saying I'm the elect. I'm saying I'm a hopeful elect, right? Me personally speaking, you know, my dad would kick the shit out of me, man, and rightfully so. Tennis rackets, hockey sticks, you know, because that's the way his father raised him, through discipline. And I don't hate my father for that. I'm in my late 40s. I don't hate my father for that. Absolutely not. The elect, wherever they are always the individuals that were picked last in every situation. If you're in the football team, soccer team, basketball team, and you're dividing up teams, you'd be picked last. You know, you'd be always going through trial and tribulation. And most elect members, there's anomalies also, okay? Because some elect have members, you know, had a pretty good ride, man. You know, like they went through the trials and tribulations, but they had let's just say, they lived a full life to a certain degree. You know, when it came to opportunities, women, things like that. And some elect didn't. Just depends whatever your burdens you have to deal with. But for the most part, this is not your rest. As paraphrasing scripture, this isn't our rest. We're not here to be comfortable. We're not here to make it. Okay, because Jake is very talented. I mean, our apostles and teachers and prophets, you know, some of them could have been martial art movie stars. Some of them could have been rappers. Some of them could have been so-called doctors, lawyers. Some of them could have been American football superstars. Some of them had great invention ideas, which, you know, didn't come into fruition because the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah had greater works for them. All right, and rightfully so, because whoever these elect members are don't want the consolation prize of this world. You got to think to yourself: do you really want to be a millionaire or a billionaire in this world? Do you really want to? I think about that shit all the time, and hell no, man. You know, because money, okay, money is a defense, but then I think about it, man. But without the comfort of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, man, I don't. If the Yahweh Bashem, if it's not, listen, man. If I, as long as Yahweh Bashem Yashai doesn't let go of me or my mashpakya, my family, you know, that's all that matters to me. you know, because it's a blessing to have the Lord's name, because the Lord's name is a defense. Okay, I know I'm waffling on a bit, but I was just thinking about it because I usually go to the verse of the day, a couple of video ideas. All right, the verse of the day here is James 4:10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and He shall lift you up. Okay, you got to be humble. You got to be changing and transforming internally, externally, and it should be a straight tunnel vision towards a kingdom. And a kingdom can't come fast enough. But we have days where it's fed up, and you can feel the pressure getting tighter and tighter. But the thing is, you got to understand, it's going to get tight, but we're getting our licks now. The hopeful elect are getting their licks now. Because you were never meant to be comfortable here. If you're comfortable, then more than likely the Lord is not dealing with you. When I'm saying comfortable, I'm not saying that you're earning a decent daily bread and you got a nice car, you got a roof over your head. That's still not comfortable. All right. Comfortable is peace of mind. Comfortable is more than finances. All right. Comfort to me is being with Yahweh Bashem Yashai, man. Having that Lord's covering constantly. Having the name of Yahweh Bashem Yashai constantly resounding in your mind. Like a broken record, people would say. But that broken record to me is beautiful. It's not a broken record. You know what it is. You like if you're old school like me, you still have a record player, albums and all that, which I do, right? Or CDs, which I still love. Fuck all this digital shit. You do, you mess with that here and there. The name of the Lord is beautiful, man. It's comforting. But you got to humble yourselves. You got to come out of this world, man. And we're not here long. Every day I say this to myself, we're not here long. And I was thinking about shit that I went through as a youngster and coming up and all that, certain mistakes I made and the vexation, how I was treated, And now I'm a grown man. I want to get at these motherfuckers, But then I think to myself, Romans 12:19, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Paraphrasing scripture there. And we have to go through these things, We can't ever go through what Yahushua went through because we don't have the capacity. We don't have that. We are not Yahushua, man. All right? We can be little Yahushuas, once the bodies are changed. Lord willing, I said that correctly. Or mini most highs, Lord willing, I said that correctly also. But we can never be on the same level as the Lord. So some elect members, hence the reason why they have ailments. If your shoulder dislocated a lot when you were a youngster and you came up and you went through ailment after ailment after ailment, punishment after punishment after punishment, is because the Lord Yahushua went through that. So you have to suffer a little what the Lord went through, but you're going to get it within your own realm, your own domain of punishment. Something that you can handle. You're not going to always get what you want. You could be a 6-foot handsome guy, women swooning at you. And the Lord has blessed you with several decent looking women, or maybe even more in your lifetime, of various varieties and nations. But then the Lord also puts you in a position where, okay, you may be a good looking guy, right? And the girl's checking you out, and then you go to talk to her, and the bitch don't want to know. That's because the spirit left her. You feel humiliated. You feel like shit, man. I'm not going to ask our bitches no more. It's just one of those things. Then you compare your situation when you were in the world, and you think to yourself, man, when I was in the world, they would come to me, and it'd be so easy to get them, and within 24 hours, you would have got some as well. So you were never meant to be comfortable here. You have to go through trial and tribulation, punishment after punishment, until we get into the kingdom. So you learn good from evil, evil from good, so you can be a righteous judge in the kingdom if you are part of that number, right? So you understand the importance of the righteous infrastructure of Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, spiritually, physically, mentally, even financially, you know? What you should eat, what you should not eat, the reason why, you know? And these things make sense. And you realize that the people that are comfortable are going to suffer harshly. Edomites, heathens, they're finished. And they're going to slavery. The ones that survive will be going to slavery. But you two-third Jakes, you TikTokers, you successful YouTubers that are smoking blunts, sitting there with your girl with a plate of, with a veggie burger or a beef burger with huge steak cut fries or whatever, onion rings, and enjoying the ambiance, sitting at the top of a cocktail bar or whatever, or outside, and the sun is setting. You Jakes are going to suffer. Now, I'm not mad at you having fun. There's nothing wrong with being with your woman and eating and drinking. But that blunt shit, you need to put that shit down. All right? But a lot of you Jakes, man, have been born in vain. And you're going to get deleted horribly. But the elect are worn out. The elect are going through, is it the rigmarole or jumping over hurdle after hurdle? But we thank Yahweh B'Shem Yashai when we're being blessed, and we thank Yahweh B'Shem Yashai when we're being punished. Okay? Now, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. It's a verse of the day, man. All right? Let's go to Proverbs 15 and 33. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Okay? You watch all these spiritual power movies, and you watch all these period movies like, set in a time where it was ancient England and the knights and the round table, and you see people coming back from battles, and they've got the mantle on and they're walking in, and all the women are swooning and the women are looking all feminine and delicate, and everyone's, they're beating the drums and they're all happy, flowers are being thrown. That's basically just showing Jake in the ancient world, even though they're using Edomites to portray Jake, the so-called black man, especially in England and all that. All right, that's a form of honor, man. How much more the elect when these bodies are changed, these weak, brittle bodies are changed, and there will be a time very soon at which we are approaching when these things will happen. So the trials and tribulations that you're going through is only there to purify you. It's not there to kill you. Sometimes you feel that you are going to die. Sometimes feel like you're going crazy out your skull. Sometimes, demon might jump in and think, man, why does the Lord hate me so much? But does a father hate? A father never hates. When a father hits his son because he did something wrong, or he wants to teach him right, does he hate? No. He wants to correct whom he loves. All right? Chastisement. He'll get scripture here for chastisement. Chastisement. Chastisement scripture is chastisement, KJV. Hebrews 12 and 7. If ye endure chastening, the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? You know? What kind of son doesn't get licks from his father if his father is present in the household? All right? I've heard stories of the apostles talking about how their fathers were. Apostle Tahar talking about his stepfather. You know? Who else? Elder Malcolm talking about his dad. You know? Who else? You know, a couple of the brothers here and there. Sometimes I don't remember the names because the brothers are so deep, right? Um, everybody got licks, man. I got licks, you know. Verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. You don't get licks, man. You know, your father don't care. You know, all this weak ass generation. You know, like my ex-wife says to me, my ex-wife said to me, you know, we're talking about our children, you know, they're grown now, but oh, you got to be friends with them. You got to be friends with them. And I looked at her, you know, um, I looked at her, I didn't say nothing because we've been apart over 20 years now, but I looked at her and I said, listen, man, these are my children. I'm not here to be friends with them. I'm going to love them. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to provide for them, Lord willing, but I'm not here to be friends with them. You know, they're friends you got at school, college, university, or whatever. But with me, they do wrong, they're going to get punished. Okay? And disciplining your children pays off in the end. You've seen how these YNs are. You've seen YNs in different packages, man. Israelite foreigner packages, the original looking packages. They're everywhere, man. They're here in the UK, they're in America. You know, they're everywhere. You know? And you see the result of that. You see the result of that. All these people, you're not missing out on anything either. You see these people flexing and what they got on YouTube, and I'm not really on it. I'm not really a TikTok person. I'm not really a social media person. I've never been a kind of a person that just constantly wants to be in front of the camera. Remember, I was born in the 70s, completely different generation. You know, I know how to socialize. I can walk up to complete strangers and, you know, be very jovial, you know, because, you know, we got that Jake spirit, you know. This generation don't. They can just walk around in ski masks, cover their face. And I look at these young motherfuckers and say, why would you cover your face? How would you even flirt with a girl that you like? You know? How can she even see your face? And I thought to myself, do young girls actually like that shit? You know, a bunch of weirdo generation, man. All right. You know, as Elder Kazaki Allah would say, I would even call this, what I'm saying right now, righteous rant. You know, just had to unload some weight off my chest. But remember one thing, okay? What goes up must come down. We are in a house of cards which will fall. All right? The term nothing lasts forever only applies to these carnal kingdoms that we're in. But what we are approaching, our rulership is eternal. Okay? Is eternal, which will never end. So what you are going through is going to be well worth the blessings that you will attain. All right? That goes for the ladies too, you know, that are listening and enduring and going through, you know, their specific things that are scripted for them only, you know, that are specifically for them. And it's going to be a time where these everything will come into fruition, you know, and it's not long. You do realize we are right at the door of the Lord's return. Just you know, I understand how you feel. It can't come fast enough. And I hear you. I hear you. I want to get the fuck out of this bitch. I don't like being here. Okay? And if you like being in this world, then you're not part of the elect. Okay, 1 second. I've got my other computer on. I've got this damn commercial in the background just pissing me off. 1 second. It's like for that. Oh. Commercials. Salakia for that. So, this video was just a righteous rant about enduring till the end. Okay? We are approaching our kingdom. This is not forever. Okay? Because as our apostles and teachers say, there's a time to prophesy, there's a time to talk about it, and there's a time to talk about, and then there's a time what is spoken of will come into actual fruition in real time. It will actually happen. It will play out. Okay? And we are coming to that point. All right? You know, brothers and sisters are having dreams. Heathens are having dreams. You know? And you people that talk ill about the apostles and elders, you're going to pay as well, man. You don't realize who those men are. I see a lot of our apostles and teachers. I feel close kinship to them. They don't know me. They've never seen me. I'm in England, right? But I know in previous lifetimes I've met them. You know? And I've had some visions and dreams I've talked about many times. All right, I'm not going to go into that right now. But I made some videos on it. I've had a lot of my channels deleted where I had huge, one. It was huge for me. I had a couple hundred subscribers. It was huge for me, you know. That statement, finish what you started, definitely comes into play here. Don't give up now as we approach the end. Okay? People are falling out left, right, and center, man, as we approach the end. And I look at these people, I say, what the hell is out there? Where are you going to go? You know, we've got so many beautiful blessings coming towards us, man. You people don't want the kingdom. I want the kingdom. All right? So those blessings will come. Those blessings will come. You know, paraphrasing another scripture, for gold is tried in the fire. Let me get that scripture before I don't want to butcher it. For gold is tried in the fire, King James Version. Ecclesiasticus 2:5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You might not even look at yourself as on a sort of a high level because you have a humble spirit on you. People might see you and think, oh, you know, that guy, you know, he looks kind of royal, kind of strong looking. you know. But you've got a very meek spirit. Doesn't mean you're a punk or anything like that, but you just you're a person that's not focused on things like that. Or you could be a frail-looking person. It don't matter. If you're an Israelite and the Lord has chosen you in this for this walk, and you're going through the trials and tribulations, the Lord deems you acceptable, man. All right? And this purification process that you're going through and the punishment is not forever. We're going home soon, man. We are going home soon. All right? Trying to, there's a scripture coming to mind. And yeah, 2nd Ezra 6 verse 9, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Yeah, let's go to this one. A time for every purpose, time to pluck up that which was planted, King James Version. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right, we've gone through captivity after captivity, and there was a purpose for that. Now, if you think about it in human terms, all those thousands of years, it's a long damn time. And you could be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s now, and you think to yourself, damn, you know, it's been a long time. But do you realize we don't have to go through another incarnation again and being born under a heathen ruling over us? This is it. We're going home soon, man. All right? Ecclesiasticus 3. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. All right? Indeed it is. Now Esau's kingdom was planted, right? But Esau said he's going to build, but the Lord said he's going to throw down. So now the Lord's going to pluck up that which is planted. All right? Okay? And we got our kingdom coming. And we can already see it. We can see the curses coming on the enemy. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. I see homeless people that are begging of all nations, but I very, 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 very seldom see a so-called black man begging. It's mainly Edomites. Mainly Edomites. Okay? So therefore, the curses are coming on our enemies, man. They're falling. They're not in a position like it used to be. It's not cool to be a so-called white man, you know? Because I remember when I was... Oh, 1 second, man. I remember as a child growing up, you know, the so-called white man make, you know, try and be funny with you. You know, oh, where'd you get that complexion from? You know, and you'll be in England and it'd be summertime. The crackers would say, oh, is it hot enough for you? You know, and I was a child, you know, early 80s and shit. Now these same honkies are trying to be like you. You know, they're women darkening their hair, their skin, trying to look like the Northern Kingdom. You know what I mean? You know, crackers, man, the tables are turning. A lot of these Edomites are afraid. And I love the fact that they're all going crazy. We've got a lot of good things coming for us, man. A lot of good things. Just remember one thing, okay? There's not long left. All right? So prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. All right? This kingdom is on the verge of exploding and imploding. All right? Because you can't have two kings in the same realm. And Esau, that piece of shit, is going to fall dramatically and painfully. I'm going to leave it there. Salakia if I waffled on a bit, like Elder Kazaki Allah would say, righteous rant, all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai B'Hashem Rakakwadash, Mawatha Bad Babal Kwam Yashrala. Shalom.